Hello everybody, welcome back to another Origins Showcase video. In this Origins Showcase, I'm going to be showcasing the Extra Origins expansion mod for the Origin mod. Essentially speaking, Extra Origins adds 3 new Origins to the Origins mod that require the use of the 𝓵𝓲𝓷𝓴𝓼 mod that allows you to have shrink different sized mods. And because I don't want to clutter up my community tab too much with polls, go follow my Twitter if you want to help influence what video gets made next. I've got a poll up right now asking you what expanded pack do you want to see next on this channel. Either way, before we get started, I'd like to ask you guys, hit the subscribe button down below. I was trying to get to 100,000 subscribers for the end of 2021, and any help towards that goal would be absolutely amazing. Either way, timestamps will be in the description for all 3 origins. Let's get started. Starting off with the Floran origin, a species of plant people that obtain their nutrients from the sun and gain strength from water, a 2-impact based origin. Running through the abilities, running through your pros, green thumb. You can grow plants at the cost of some of your hunger. Essentially speaking, this ability allows you to bone meal crops, plants, trees, and as well as the grass bits and pieces to get some random flowers and things along those lines at a very high amount of rate. If you do it throughout the daytime, it will actually affect your health bar overall less due to one of the abilities we'll cover in a moment, but overall this is a pretty useful ability and it roughly stinks out your hunger bar in around 5 to 6 tries. The next pro is an ability called photosynthesis. You are saturated by being exposed to the sunlight. Essentially speaking, your hunger bar will actually fill up over time when you're within the sunlight. This ability takes around 20 seconds to go from absolutely no hunger to max, so keep that in consideration when it comes down to it. It's not going to be instantaneous type hunger fill up, it's going to be a bit of a slow process. It'll take roughly around the same amount of time it does to take an equal amount of most food times in order to get back up to the max hunger. Either way, moving on to the next pro, you've got absorbing. You deal 2 more damage when wet. Essentially speaking, you only do an extra 2 bit of damage when you're sitting in water, whether you're in the rain or other bits and pieces along those lines, and it does not change depending on what type of weapon you're using. It will only ever add 2 damage on top of whatever you deal by default. Moving into the cons now, we've got a con known as delicate. Biomes that are too hot or too cold will actually give you slowness when you enter them. Now, one key thing to always keep in mind is this will not actually give you the slowness effect itself, it will just slow down your character as a whole, meaning that you can still be given the slowness potion effect and still be drastically harmed by that. There is a noticeable slowdown that comes with that, but it's not exactly too drastic either. It's just one that will be just like, oh okay, I'm a little bit slower now when you're running through deserts or cold biomes. And moving on to the last con, we've got 𝓽𝓱𝓲𝓷𝓴𝓼. You can only consume honey bottles in order to regain hunger. It does exactly what it says on the tin, you can only eat honey bottles, go figure. Anyhow, moving on to the Inchling origin, a subspecies of humans that are incredibly small. They utilize their size to hide from enemies and navigate small spaces. Moving into the abilities, bite size. You are 4 times smaller than a regular person. You also have 5 less hearts, 0.5% more attack speed, 0.25 less attack range, as well as 1 less build range. Essentially speaking, you become a little speedy boy. Mainly because of you being far smaller, you are obviously a little bit faster. You're also far more annoying to hit when it comes down to it, so it kind of counteracts your 5 less hearts. But of course, you can't exactly get as far of a range as what you would when you're the normal size Minecraft player, just so it's not exactly too overkill. Like, you're still going to be the annoying ankle hitter that you are because you're like so tiny, but you're still going to be easy to get if people are smart enough. Moving to the next ability, you've got nimble. You are immune to thorns as well as velocity based damage types. Essentially speaking, because you were shrunk, you are far more mobile, meaning you're far more susceptible to taking any form of thorn damage, any form of falling damage. So what the guys have done here, they've pretty much made it so you're immune to that because you're so damn fast. Moving into the next ability, you've got small appetite. You require less food to keep going. Essentially speaking, it takes far longer to burn down your hunger bar, which really is just going to be overall helpful considering you're going to move a lot more faster than normal as well. Moving to your next ability, you've got the ability known as climbing. You're able to climb up any kind of wall, not just ladders. Essentially speaking, this one also says what it does in the tin. You can just climb up anything. Absolutely anything. As long as you can touch it, you can climb up it, no problems asked. Climbing up a cactus, you can do that. Climb up a tree around the area, mainly because of the fact that due to you being smaller, your jumps are also a lot smaller. Overall, the Inchling doesn't exactly have that many actual cons, the biggest one being just the sheer fact that you're shrunk in size and therefore everything else about your Minecraft play has been shrunk at the same time. Either way, moving to the final origin of this mod pack, we have the Piglin origin. This one is by far the most detailed one out of the lot. Running through the description, natures of the Nether, Piglins are very fond of gold and are experts at utilizing it. Moving on to the abilities, we've got all that glitters. Golden tools deal extra damage and golden armor has additional protection. Golden equipment also lasts much longer than normal, but non-gold and non-netherite equipment will also break far faster. Netherite armor gives a small speed boost when wearing a full set. Essentially speaking, for just a very brief breakdown, each tool will take roughly 2 bits of durability damage for every single use when it's not the golden or the netherite tools, instead of a single durability of use. Golden tools will also take around 20 blocks of breaking before they actually start